Hey everybody, Rob Cootie here, the MLM Solution. I want to welcome you to today, Friday. It is the 18th of June, and it's currently 10:57 and 8 seconds Eastern Standard Time. As you know, we go live each and every day on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you will, as always, we ask that you help us get the word out in our podcast and our website to our fellow network marketers across the globe. You can do that by simply sharing hashtag the MLM Solution. That's sharing the hashtag the MLM Solution. You can be a part of the positive process of sharing that could have an impact on somebody across the globe. What a wonderful thing to do for someone else. That being said, and when you're at our website, we ask that you also take just a second or two to hit the share button. That way you can once again have a positive impact on somebody the other side of the globe. And that is once again a wonderful thing to share and to have happen in your life, to be a part of. What a great thing. All right, with that being said, today's episode is number 58, hard to believe, Freelance Friday, episode number 58 already. My word. Where has the time gone? All right, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here and we'll see you guys here in a second.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie and Marie Cannon.
Well, Miss Marie, have you gotten used to hearing your name and lights there?
Kind of. It's still a little weird.
Do you realize that these things, when you and I are long gone, these videos will still be around? You are now a part of history.
We are internet famous.
Well, I don't know if we're famous yet, but we are certainly a big part of the internet. But think about it. How many people do podcasts?
I don't know. Quite a few, I imagine, but
not many, considering the population of the world. 7 billion?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. And how many do podcasts about this subject matter? Even less. So you are forever etched into the web with me, unfortunately, and with the MLM Solution, which is a good thing.
It is indeed. So happy Friday to you. How are things going?
Well, they're going well. For the most part. Where did that come from? You didn't see that, did you?
I did not.
Oh, okay. This thing came up on the screen.
I saw something bright reflected in your glasses, but it didn't show up on the screen.
Okay, good. I'm kidding, of course.
Careful, you might get hit by ransomware.
Yeah, ransomware.
Now that we're internet famous, somebody's gonna try and hijack the show and hold your ransom for I don't know what.
Oh, I know. And you know what? I tell them, okay, so what? I'll go and start another channel. I'm not paying no ransom. Then that throws them for a loop. They'd be like, but you're supposed to care. You're supposed to bend to our demands. No. Nope. I'll just go start another one.
That's kind of like the U.S. position of not negotiating with terrorists, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that still a U.S. position? I'm not even sure it is, but whatever.
If it's not, it should be. Yeah. I don't believe you negotiate with the bad people at all. Just tell them, say, you know what, you're out of luck. Sorry about your luck there.
Yeah.
So, we could go down that path real fast with what's going on in today's world on many different fronts.
Yeah, but we probably shouldn't. So Might have to do a little topic change here.
Yes, I agree, because I don't want to do that right now. Certainly not afraid of the subject matter. Just, you know what? I'd rather talk about something else. So we talked about my arm, and I think we talked about it when you were gone. I think I talked about it last Friday. Whew.
When I was MIA, missing in action, yes.
Yeah, we talked about you being on the road. We talked about a lot of interesting. I talked about things that were coming down the road on Freelance Friday, and some of the things that you and I have been doing. So we've covered that quite a bit here over the last week. The future, on our 200th episode. If y'all are not aware of it, we had our 200th episode on Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
That was
I got my
Wednesday's
days mixed up. That's right. You're right.
Our 200th episode is now history. It's in the rearview mirror, but it'll exist on the internet forever. And
that's right.
Quite the fun celebration. Rob outdid me this time.
I was determined. I was not going to lose a fourth one in a row. I got slaughtered the first 3 times. I had to do something.
Yeah, well, I know you were excited about episode 200. So
yeah. Now we're quickly racing to 300, just down the road.
The perfect bowling score. That'll be
right.
that'll be the theme of the episode 300 celebration.
There we go. And you know what? What is the highest you ever bowled? Do you bowl?
I'm from Wisconsin. Of course I bowl.
I thought so, yes.
I just don't bowl well.
Oh. I mean, you bring up a 300, that's such a magical thing and hard thing to do. And of course, the pros make it look so easy, obviously. But when I was in the military, we bowled quite a bit. Military, I won't say the military, but whatever base you were at, there was bowling leagues. And some bases had bowling alleys on base. Some did not, of course. And that was a lot of fun, as you could imagine. But the thing is that it can be so frustrating if you're trying to achieve that 300. Seems like the harder you try, the harder it is to do. But I think the closest I came, it had a 5 in it. It was either 245 or 275. I can't remember. That's
impressive.
I think it was 245, to be honest with you. I can't remember. But the anxiety level kept building up, as you can imagine. Once you got past 6 or 7 strikes, you're like, okay, now it starts to come into your mind, right? Now you start thinking,
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never experienced the stress of potentially bowling a 300 game, because I pretty much take that off the table in the first frame. So.
I get it. Well, I never thought it was realistic, to be honest with you, Miss Marie. It's not the first time that I've gotten 6 or 7 strikes in a row. But the next 4 frames, possibly 5 frames, just sometimes goes, and then you end up with a 220 or a 2, and but I'm pretty sure it was 245 this time, which meant, and I can't remember how 245 comes around. There's a few different ways, but it doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. I just asked only not because I wanted to talk about my score, but because of the fact that I realized 300. You're right, man. That's tough. That's tough. And, watching bowling on TV is like watching golf. You realize that in tennis.
Yeah.
I think I might.
Back when I was a kid, there was a show on in Milwaukee that they filmed live. And I actually once got to go see it live because a friend of mine bowled on the program. It was called Bowling for Dollars.
Yes. I'm very familiar with it.
They'd have, the stripe pin that would randomly show up. And if you got a strike on that frame, you won.
Yeah.
I don't know. Back at that time, it was probably like $1,000 or something huge like that at the time.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching those people, and it's so impressive. But I tell you what, I went bowling a couple weeks ago, and I took my friend's kid with me to a bowling event. It was kind of a celebratory event, and didn't want to go by myself. Thought it would be fun for the kid. and we went bowling, and I discovered the bumpers on the bowling alleys now. These things that automatically come up along the edge. So it prevents you from getting a gutter ball. I mean, you have to have a really skilled throw in order to get a gutter ball on a bumpered lane, right? So it basically has these railings that come up on the inside of the gutter to keep your ball on the lane. So you can almost pinball it down the lane to hit the pins.
Why?
So there's a very narrow area at the end of the lane where the ball can go through and miss the pins to actually get a gutter ball. So it's more difficult to get a gutter ball on the railing lanes than it is to get a strike. And guess who managed to get a gutter ball?
That's funny.
Mad skills right here. Yep.
That was a great story that you just told. But number one, I would have never guessed it done that. I mean, look, come on. That putting bumpers on the gutters, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's really the epitome of a trophy, for not, what is it? Participation trophy. That's what they call them. I mean,
well, here's the thing. At this event, all of the adults, not me, were bowling without the railings. The railings they were putting up for the kids.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's an automatic thing that you can program per bowler.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, yeah, we need that for Bree and Marie. Both, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Now that's funny. Okay. Now it makes more sense. I thought they were taking another game and turning it inside out.
No.
Okay.
No.
So, well, you know what? As long as you had fun, that's all that matters.
I still didn't bowl any better than a 120, though.
And it's amazing that you still got a gutter ball out of that. That's amazing. You told on yourself. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember the last time I bowled. I enjoyed bowling, though. It's a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's a tough one. I've tried finessing the ball. I've tried basically throwing the ball down. I've tried spins. I've tried going straight. I'm an average bowler. I think I would, if you were to add up all my scores, probably 145, 165, somewhere in that range would be my average,
That's respectable.
Yeah, I would say that's respectable. I've never been a great bowler.
I'm happy when I break 100.
Well, there you
honestly.
go. So am I. But my dad was a great pool player, and he was so kind and sweet because he knew us kids couldn't play on his level, and he loved to play, and he'd take us out there, and he'd miss on purpose. Well, my dad, boy, woo, man, I did. When I was younger, I knew he was good, but it wasn't until I got older I realized just how good he was. And he used to wait for hustlers. And I remember him sitting back and he would watch. Us kids would be bowling, and behind us was the pool hall. Mm-hmm. And he could literally see us. And he'd go out and peek through that window, and he'd see this guy, fancy dress, almost like a pimp. That's what the guy looked like. And Dad would sit there and he'd watch him. And then he would look at us kids, and he'd come down there a few minutes with the kids, and he'd go back up there. And when we were done bowling, he said, "Come here." And so we went over there. This was in 1963 or 4 when we were little. And so he took us into the pool hall there, portion of it. And he said, "You guys sit right here." And that guy was cleaning up. He was taking one person after another. And so Dad waited and watched. And so Dad came up and put his money down, to be the next one. I don't know how much money, it was cash. I don't know how much money was required to get into the game. And so this guy was cleaning people up left and right. And it was almost Christmas time. And so Dad got up there, and then, they both lay their money on the table. And I guess they flipped a coin. I forget how they determined who broke first,
Mm-hmm.
I think they flipped a coin. But anyway, Dad broke first. The guy never got a shot. Bam, and it was over. And Dad was the type of guy, he'd walk up and he'd look at it, pap. And he wouldn't bend down like a pro and this and that. He stood half up and he'd look at it and he just, bam, that ball. And he'd go to the side. He never, one of those, I have to bend over and kind of, get things leveled out. We were never on his level. It was unbelievable. Of course, you don't know that. I could make him into some superstar. You would never know. But as I got older, I was fascinated on how he could play and how he would dumb his game down to play with us kids so he wouldn't embarrass us or discourage us,
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine how frustrating that was for him. But, man, I have never seen anybody play golf like him. And I played listen to me, pool. I played pool a lot when I was younger, trying to get as good as him, And I played, I guess, for 3 to 4 years, and even got my own pool stick and stuff. I could never master, especially when it's, when he would put a spin, and without dragging us on, Marie, he would just literally walk up, and he just kind of like this real quick, and then bam. I had to sit down and I had to look and say, okay, if I hit it right there, it'll go this way, or if I hit it and put a backspin on, I had to literally think about it and look at it and say, okay, I now know where I have to hit the ball, not him.
So I'm curious, was your dad an engineer, mathematician type of guy?
No, he wasn't.
That's interesting, because I always say pool is the only practical application of geometry in life.
Well, that's a great way. Yeah, no, I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right. You're right. That is so true. You're right. All the angles and everything, and banking it off the board and all that. I remember my grandmother, after that, Dad was so proud of himself that he wiped that guy out. And we went back to, he was living with his mom at the time, because him and my mom were going through a divorce, and living with his mom, our grandmother, and she was giving him hell for taking us kids to the pool hall. And it wasn't, the pool hall was built right in with the bowling alley. He didn't take it, just Mom, I didn't take him to the pool hall. It was right there in Mid-City. And she knew where that was. And she just gave him hell. And then for playing pool, you could have lost your money. And he pulled out the money. He said, I won $300. And $300 in the 60s was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he was tickled pink because he was able to get us Christmas presents and stuff. And I remember him walking around smiling. But he won that one game and he walked off. He didn't play anymore. He just wanted that one game. But I've seen him play over the subsequent years, and I was just fascinated. I rarely have seen anybody play the way he did. Just in a very aggressive, quick mold. He wanted that table cleaned off in about 3 to 4 minutes. None of this dragging out stuff. So, but anyway, watching pool, watching bowling, watching golf, watching tennis. I don't know about you, but you better have a case of beer.
Well, yeah, some of those. But, the thing that they all have in common, of course, is there are basic rules and basic skills that have to be developed in order to be good at those activities, right?
I may make fun of them, but I'm going to tell you something. I despise baseball, and I played baseball, but boy, you talking about hitting that ball at 90 miles an hour. I have great admiration for that. The sliders, the curves. I would never take anything away. I don't like baseball. I really don't. I love softball, and I was never any good at baseball, but it wasn't because I didn't try. I just wasn't good at it. Some things you're good at, some you're not. I don't dislike baseball because I wasn't good at it. I dislike baseball because I did play it. Oh, coach, I can't, my pinky hurts. Football players like, cut the damn pinky off. Well, I got to get back out there, And the right fielder in baseball sits out there, takes a lounge chair, pulls it out, pulls out the paper, and puts his feet up. And sits there and reads the newspaper, Hey, George, we got to go back in. We got 3 outs. Okay, but it takes, the right fielder, you might as well not even be out there. I hurt my finger. I can't play today. I mean, have you ever seen the injury reports for baseball? Hurt his toe, hurt his finger, his nose bled that day.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to go down that route, though, then you have, the international game of football, also known as soccer.
Yeah.
Have you seen such actors on the field before? It's like the guy ran by me within 6 inches. I have to fall over and grab my knee.
And dramatically fall over, not just fall over. He tumbles and rolls and keeps rolling. You think he's rolling downhill. You're right. Holding his knee the whole time.
And what's really funny to me is either before or either right after they get the card that they were hoping to get from the ref, or if he just waves them off or whatever, well, they hop just right back up and they're fine and they're on the way.
I know. Yes. The aggravating part, of course, I played soccer. I'm sure you did too, at some point. And man, you get kicked in the shins. Oh, that'll bring tears to your eyes. So I totally get it but you're right. More times than not, they barely touch each other, and it's so dramatic in the rollovers and falling down. I'm like, oh my gosh. My favorite soccer games to watch are the Pee Wee leagues, right? Where you just have this like scrum of little kids chasing the ball around the field. and you know what? When those kids run into each other at that age, it's full speed. They don't know. They haven't learned yet to look around. It's bam. Thank God they're not running very fast. They got that. But man, that's so painful to watch. You scream as a parent and they don't get it. They're like, what? Bang. Oh man. But
no matter the sport or the activity or whatever, there's a set of rules that typically have to be followed, right? In order to play the game and to play it well, and you have to develop your skills around it, kind of like the network marketing business.
I knew you were going to do that. What a segue.
Thought we needed to tie it in somewhere, right? So, in order to be successful in network marketing, in order to win the game, so to speak, is you have to understand how it works realistically, not just, you sign up 2 people and they sign up 2 people and they sign up 2 people and suddenly you have 16,000 people in your organization and you're rich, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's kind of I don't know, kind of the mocking aspect of how the business works. But when you talk about actually building a network marketing business and understanding the rules of the game and following our 5 simple steps, in order to become successful, that's kind of how you develop the ability to win the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Mastering the basics in baseball, especially when you're hitting the ball or pitching, which most people are familiar with, there's so many mechanics that go into mastering that, and it's amazing. I found that if I kept my swing simple and straightforward, and, it was all about balancing your feet and turning your hips and, blah, 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 blah. Those basics, once you understood what constituted a good to great hitter, if you mastered those basics, you could be a pretty good 200 hitter, like 230, 240. If you're going to be a great one, like a George Brett, that's a totally different set of peripheral skills. You know what I'm saying? Eye-hand coordination, turning your wrist over. Now, why do I bring that up? Because it ties into what you're saying. You can master the basics of network marketing, but if you really wanted to be great, if you really wanted to maximize, if you really wanted to utilize your talents and abilities, well, all the little things, intricate peripheral things like the threshold of profitability and all that we talk about are what is going to make you great. Because Ms. Marie, you can build a business without the threshold of profitability. You're just going to work 3 to 5 times harder to get the same results. Well, who wants to do that, right?
Right.
And, but the thing is that if you master certain aspects of the things that we teach, it's just like a baseball hitter. You can be a 230 hitter, or you can be a George Brett and be a 260 to 320 hitter, And First, as you know, George Brett not only had the talent, but he had mastered the basics. And because he had certain unique talents and understanding of the game, he was able to also master some other things that gave him that huge advantage over other hitters. He was such a dangerous hitter. I used to watch baseball back then for whatever reason that God only knows. And George Brett was one of my favorite players and hitters, and he was a switch hitter too. So one of the most amazing athletes I ever saw in person, and I think I saw two of them, but one of them, and I'm talking a natural athlete that just had the natural ability to master pretty much whatever they wanted, was Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I went and saw him when he played with George Brett, the Kansas City Royals, when I lived out in Fort Worth, and they played the Texas Rangers with Nolan Ryan pitching. And man, to see that guy, really the talent just oozed out of that guy. Such a natural talent to be able to play both of those sports at such a high level. Miss Marie, I saw him hit that ball during that game, and he never took anything off. He never took a play off, is what I'm saying. Miss Marie, he hit one ball right back to Nolan Ryan that broke Nolan Ryan's nose.
Oof.
How Nolan Ryan finished pitching the game. And, that's a testament to how tough Nolan Ryan was. But, Nolan Ryan's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And, man, Miss Marie, Bo Jackson nailed that ball. I mean, nailed it. You couldn't hardly see it leave the bat, and it was on Nolan Ryan. And Nolan got his glove up just in enough time, but the force of that hit pushed his glove up and broke his nose. And when you could see him bleeding and the trainer went out there and blah, 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 and stuck some things up his nose, and Nolan pushed him away, and he kept right on pitching. And even Bo Jackson went out there to make sure he was all right, I mean, that could have destroyed his face. But the ferocity of the way Bo Jackson hit that ball and attacked that ball, when it came off the bat, Miss Maria, I have rarely seen a ball leave the bat with that much force. It was unbelievable. Then he hit a home run second or third time up in the deepest part of the park, ended up being either the longest or the second longest home run ever hit in that park. So it just shows you. I mean, I was sitting out feeling right over, and it wasn't like, this. It was like, that dude laid into that ball, girl.
Yeah.
What is that? That's a guy that masters the basics like that quick and then goes on to the next level.
Well, exactly. And the other thing that happens there too, which is important for your network marketing business, is not just learning the basics and listening to the coaching and the teaching that you get, but actually going out and executing, right?
Yeah.
You actually have to take action. I always thought it was funny, Bo Jackson is like Bo knows, right?
Yeah, Bo knows.
That was kind of like the theme. And he played baseball and he played football. And it's like Bo knows, and it's like Bo does. I mean,
yeah.
He doesn't just know, he does.
He does it. That's right. Yeah, and you know what? I think one of the greatest testaments to Bo Jackson is that, number one, he remained humble. He's still humble to this day. And he's a family guy. I'm not going to make him to be a saint because I don't know that. But ever since he's left sports, I mean, he's an entrepreneur. You know that. Very successful. Has held his kids accountable and has not bragged on himself in any way, shape, or form. He's just let his results speak for itself. But what he did, Miss Marie, is he allowed people to mentor him. He knew that he was supremely talented. There was no doubt. That's the reason why he did those commercials. But at the same time, he was willing to listen, and he was willing to be taught. I know George Brett thought, oh, man, here comes Bo Jackson, onto the Kansas. He's going to ruin the chemistry. He's going to, this kid thinks he's the shit, and he was. But George Brett was shocked at how humble Bo Jackson was and how hard he was willing to work, and he was willing to listen. And, he became a Bo Jackson fan, because of that. The reason I say that is because you're right. You know what? You got to be willing to listen, right, Miss Marie? You got to be willing to be mentored. Because, Miss Marie, some people have that magnetic personality naturally where people will be attracted to them. Some people are great with words, have the ability to speak to motivate people, to get people focused real quick, to motivate them to do things that they normally wouldn't do, or to rise above a level of performance they otherwise didn't think they could. There are people that have that naturally, but you know what? They don't understand the intricacies of the business or the basics. And a person that's talented like that has to say, well, I need to listen to Rob and Marie, because you know what? They're right. I can see they're teaching the basics, and I need to master those 5 simple steps. And, I know that I'm a great speaker. I know that I can motivate people. So if I add these basics to what I already do, man, I could be something else. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. That's the great tie-in with the sports, is, guys, if you have some natural talent, the ability to speak, if you've always been the type of person to attract other people to you, those are 2 gifts that the rest of us would beg to have. Right, Miss Marie?
Yep.
Yeah. So, it's, if you have that, try to remain humble and learn the basics. And Miss Marie, the other day, the wife and I were somewhere, and I've only seen this twice. No, 3 times. But the wife and I were out somewhere the other day, and there was a guy that walked by, and he was the type of guy that you just stop and you just like, oh my gosh, that is a good looking guy. You know what I'm saying? Just, there's something about him, whether it's their presence. I remember when I was doing contract work for Geek Squad at their international headquarters. It was a big, huge building. And I noticed that all the women were quiet, and all of them were just standing there, and they were doing this to each other. And, I was kind of oblivious, because I was busy doing what I needed to do. But I noticed the activity had stopped. Well, there was this electrician that was up on one of the cherry pickers, and he came down, and he was walking back to his station. Miss Marie, I got to admit, as a guy, look, I don't find other guys. I don't even hang out with other guys. You know me. I am not a guy. I don't care to hunt, to fish, to all that stuff. That guy was drop dead gorgeous. I mean, he stopped people in their tracks, and you could tell he was uncomfortable. But you rarely see a human being like that, where they just kind of make you take a step back and go, oh my gosh, And the women were just gaga all over him. Some women were saying, my God, if I could get in front of him, I'd take my clothes off right now. I don't care if I'm married or not. It was funny, but I'd see why they were acting the way they were acting. You don't see human beings like that very often. I remember another time we were at a basketball game, U of L basketball game. And, at halftime, they go around the stadium, and they focus on people and what they're doing, and sometimes they throw the kiss cam up, and sometimes they throw, these funny faces, and all that. And there was a woman up in the stands, of course, and they focused in on her. They were panning, and they focused in. People will watch it, and they're still, that place holds like 22,000 or 25,000. I can't remember. So, probably 12, 13,000 stay in their seats at halftime. And they were panning through there, and they stopped on this woman, and you could hear a collective, that woman was that beautiful. She was so stunning that it took people's breath away. And once again, those moments, right, where people are born with that kind of talent. Why can't we have that? Now, why do I bring that up? Because there are going to be certain people that have that magnetic personality, Miss Marie, that captures people's attention, and people flock to them. You know what I'm talking about. You have seen it. You've been at events where just the mere presence of someone, whether it's their presence or whether it's the way they stand or whether it's their success that they've achieved in the network marketing industry, people flock to them, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they
kind of that cult of personality.
There was something about them. And, some people, Miss Marie, were just good enough in their appearance, in the way they walked, in the way they talked. In other words, all of those little things came together to put together a really nice package. Nothing spectacular about them, but the overall package was well-rounded. and they mastered certain little things, their appearance, the way they dress, the way they walk, the way they talked and everything, and all of that. They worked on that, and the total picture was pretty outstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you heard me there. I was like, okay, did I say
I
something?
heard you. I thought there was more coming.
Well, no, I mean, the reason I bring it up, look, I talked about people that were naturally born with stunning looks, but to show people that there were people that were born with those kind of talents, whether it's looks, the ability to speak, whatever, to attract people to them. If you have the ability to speak in network marketing, and I'm going to tell you something, or you have people power, in other words, you get along with people and people typically like you really well, you have two of the greatest powers in network marketing that anyone could ever ask for. But if you have to work on each one of them, you say, you know what, to yourself, I'm not a great talker, a great orator. I don't have really a strong presence about me. I really struggled talking to people for the most part. In other words, developing some kind of rapport with them. But you know what? If I work on each one of those, I can become really really good at this. And I've seen that too. You see that a lot, Miss Marie, more so than the stunning. And it's not about the looks, guys. I bring up the looks because it's something that you can relate to. Because most people have seen somebody that just go like that. Okay, it's not about the looks. What I'm saying is there's something about somebody that just makes you go step back and go, wow. Okay, but you don't have to have that wow factor in network marketing. If you do, more power to you. But remain humble and round yourself. Become a well-rounded person that other people want to be around, because that's an investment in your future success. If people like being around you, if people like the way that you talk, if you have the ability to get to the point and not talk in big circles where people are going, while you're talking, because if you're on stage, the last thing you want to do is lose the audience, right, Miss Marie?
Yeah.
And if you're going to do,
I was going to say, communication skills and speaking skills are going to benefit you throughout your life, not just in your business, whether it's network marketing or anything else, but it's beneficial throughout your life.
That's right. But the appearance has to back up the ability for you to be able to speak. If I was growing one side of my beard way down here and the other side looks like it does now, that appearance is not going to go with my ability to speak. If I'm up there on stage and I have a nice dress shirt and a jacket on, but I have no pants, that's not going to work. Okay.
That'll be eye-catching.
Well, it may be based on what people think. But here's the thing. My point is that you have to say, I have to be well-rounded. It all has to work together. Okay. And if you're not afraid to speak, that's awesome. But you know what? The dress has to back up the ability to speak. It's part of your presence. Do you have to be to the nines? No. But you have to be a 7 or an 8. You can't. Miss Marie and I get up on stage and we go up there with jeans and all that has holes in them and dirty shoes that we've been using out in the cow pasture. That's not going to back up our presence. It's not going to our appearance is not going to reflect well on our speaking, regardless of whether we're speaking gold. Our appearance is going to take away from those golden moments that we're getting out to the audience. Audience be like, do you see what they're wearing? Where in the world did they come from? Do you smell that crap on their boots? Your appearance will detract from your message, right, Miss Marie?
It can, yes.
So it has to be a total package. And if you guys are blessed with your natural ability to talk, if you like being on stage, man, that's awesome. She's right. Communication is probably one of the number one things, but your appearance and your posture is close behind. You never forget that, okay? You can be a great orator. You can motivate people, and you can do this and that. But if you smell because you're not taking care of yourself in a hygienic way, if you're not dressed appropriately, that backs up the words that you speak and the presence that you have, you're going to lose a large portion of your audience. Miss Marie, when you're up on stage, you have to be able to not only command people's attention immediately, but maintain it and being able to read the audience. And if you can't do that, because most of your speeches are going to be 15, 20 minutes long, if not longer. If you cannot maintain an audience for that amount of time, then you're going to find people looking around and papers shuffling, and the next thing you know, that spreads throughout the audience and you've lost them and you can't get them back, right, Miss Marie?
Yeah, that is true.
So you got to have the total package. Got to have it. So, well, Miss Marie, we talked about beautiful people, which I am not.
Oh, welcome to my world.
But I'm okay with that. I don't care. We talked about people that can speak well. Once again, that's not me. I just do the best I can. We talked about how all of that works together along with your appearance, because you can be knowledgeable all you want, Miss Marie, but if you're not able to communicate well, which I hope we do on the podcast, then there's no doubt our knowledge level is there. But hopefully we definitely communicate well with people. I think we do, don't you?
I do.
I do too. I think we make it entertaining, especially on Freelance Fridays.
We certainly do what we can. So
I do not regret not dressing up. I have plenty of suits. I have plenty of jackets. I love wearing that stuff, but I'm not wearing it on the show because we're a family operation, not a corporate operation.
Well, and then there's the whole idea of the podcast, just envision me wearing the frilly fancy dress and you're good.
We're not going to be I'm not wearing a dress.
Me either. So there you go.
Now, when I get up on stage, I'll do some pretty crazy stuff, but I'll hold that for another day.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good place to wrap it up. Let folks get to their weekend. What do you think?
I think it's great. I need to get to my weekend. This has been a long week. Oh,
It has.
it has. All right. Well, it's good to have you back. Here we completed a week with Miss Marie. That's awesome. It's great to have her back. And as you saw, Miss Marie, there's a lot of changes while you were gone.
Yeah.
A lot of changes.
It's getting exciting. More changes
is.
coming.
More changes coming. Yes, yes. And Miss Marie, I look forward to the future with you. We've done our 200th episode this week. We're quickly racing towards that magical 300. And I don't know what I'll do when we reach 500, not to drag this show on. I don't know if I'll pee on myself live on the podcast or what I'm going to do. I'll probably pee in my pants and get to 500 episodes. So be prepared.
Maybe. We'll send you some depends, so it's not too much of an issue.
Hell, by that time, I may have them already. Sometimes I feel like my body has got its own mind. It's like, where did that come from? Oh, my gosh. This week has been my eyes. Why? I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, called getting old. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you so much for putting up with us. We're having a lot of fun doing this. And on Freelance Fridays, you never know what you're going to get from us. And today was a prime example of that. We talked about a lot of different things, but you know what? It was a lot of fun. We laughed. And it allows Miss Marie and I to let our hair down a little bit. And believe me, we need to do that every once in a while. With that being said, we celebrated this week our 200th episode. Can you believe it? We did 200 episodes together. That's not just me. That's her. She said, is this with me or is this by yourself and me? And I was like, no, this is just you and I. Because I started from ground zero. The only thing that's got a running score, Miss Marie, is the Freelance Friday. Everything else is brand spanking new. So with that being said, we thank you guys because it's all about you. We thank you so much for continuing to support us, to watch us, and to spread the word about us. We see that happening, and we're grateful for it. Miss Marie, you have anything to add before we start our weekend?
The only thing I'll add is we invite everyone to join us Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here. We're going to be talking about the importance of the business cycle. So back to business on Monday. Join us for that. Some important information that you're going to appreciate and enjoy.
Yes. And I add a little bit to that. The importance of the business cycle on your business, or the impact the business cycle has on your business. However you want to word it, it affects your business. We're going to talk about how on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. All right, Miss Marie, I'm ready to get out of here. Everybody have a blessed day.
Happy weekend, everyone.
And be safe.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. Download our podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast platforms. Visit our website at www.themlmsolution.net for additional important information, show details, and past shows. Follow us on Parler, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the get notified button while visiting our other social media platforms.